Hello everyone, I'm Ori. Today, we bring you an exciting story, full of mixed emotions. We're going to accompany Huyen's family on their journey back to their homeland. Although they haven't yet reached their final destination, along the way, they passed near Adam's hometown. So, they decided to make a stop and visit Adam's parents' house. Upon arriving at Adam's family home, something changed. It was at that moment that Huyen and her family began to understand a little more about the difficult situation and the suffering Adam has endured. Stories aren't always what they seem, and this encounter allowed them to see a new perspective on the pain Adam has had to endure. Today, we invite you to follow us as we discover what this new chapter in Huyen's family's journey will be like and what revelations lie behind Adam's story. Don't miss the details of this emotionally charged day. But before continuing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all the updates on our upcoming videos. The adventure is just beginning. On the train back to her homeland, Huyen felt filled with mixed emotions. Although she hadn't lived in that place for long, the simple thought of leaving it behind hurt her deeply. Despite the difficulties, she had found in that piece of land something she hadn't expected: peace, tranquility, and memories that will stay with her forever. Every corner of the small life they built together had left indelible marks on her, and now, as she moved away from it all, she couldn't help but feel immense sadness weighing on her heart. But beyond her own pain, what truly worried her was the future of her daughter, Maya. She knew Maya deserved a better life, a life full of opportunities, friends, and an education that would allow her to have a future full of possibilities. Huyen wished with all her being that Maya could go to school, make new friends, and, above all, be happy. It was for her that she made every decision, and her love for her daughter drove her to keep going, no matter the difficulties. In her mind, Huyen promised herself that she and Yi would work tirelessly to improve Maya's life. She knew Ye's love for her and Maya was deep, that he had sacrificed so much for them. That love, that devotion, touched her heart in a way she couldn't describe. Huyen felt her bond with Yi was stronger than ever and swore to him that she would not only return that love but make it grow with her whole being. Although the future was full of uncertainties, one thing was clear to her: she would fight for her family with everything she had and continue to love Yi with all the strength her heart could offer. After a long train ride, they finally arrived at a place she would never forget: Adam's home, her homeland. Although the journey had been long and tiring, Maya, with her youthful energy, remained full of vitality. She looked so cheerful, as if tiredness didn't touch her at all. On the other hand, Huyen couldn't deny that she felt a slight headache and a slight feeling of dizziness, a small reminder of the accumulated stress. However, even though fatigue was overcoming her, she didn't want it to ruin the moment. They were close to reaching a new place, a refuge where they could rest and pause on their long journey. They had no intention of returning home immediately. Instead, they decided to make an important stop. They were going to visit Adam's family. Adam had been an unconditional support to Huyen's family during their stay in an unknown land, and both Huyen and Yi considered him a brother. Huyen and Ye's wish was to show their gratitude and affection by visiting Adam's mother, since he had mentioned to them that his mother was ill. In their hearts, there was a mixture of concern and affection for this man who had so generously welcomed them and helped them in their most difficult moments. After resting a bit, they decided to ask for directions to Adam's parents' house. It wasn't easy finding their way in an unfamiliar place, but the kindness of the locals gave them the boost they needed. They patiently walked for several kilometers, stopping to ask for directions, and they got closer and closer to their destination. The warm and welcoming townspeople showed them the way, and little by little, like a hope materializing, they arrived near Adam's parents' house. The village's atmosphere, the simplicity of its inhabitants, everything seemed different and yet comforting. They knew that this trip, although full of uncertainty, also brought with it moments of support and perhaps a new opportunity for all of them. What would this visit hold for them? What would the reunion with Adam's family be like? Excitement and curiosity filled the air, but there was also a warm feeling that this could be another step toward the future they longed for. Finally, after a long journey, Huyen's family arrived at Adam's parents' house. In front of the door, an elderly woman sat, and although they were unsure at first, they soon realized that this woman was indeed Adam's mother. It was the first time they had met, but they already felt at home. With a warm smile, Huyen's family introduced themselves as close friends of Adam's, who had lived together in the same place they had been before. Hearing their words, the woman showed great joy. It was evident that she was excited to welcome her son's friends after so long. Although distance had been an obstacle at the time, the visit from Huyen and her family meant a lot to her. As a gesture of courtesy, Huyen's family offered her a small gift, something simple but full of affection. Adam's mother, moved by the gesture, appreciated it and wasted no time asking about her son's well-being. She hadn't seen Adam in a long time, and her concern was palpable. Her face showed a mixture of maternal love and anxiety. "How is Adam?" she asked with a look of tenderness. "I haven't heard from him in a long time. I'm very worried, but I haven't been able to go see him." "He's fine," Huyen replied with a calm smile. "He's working hard, and his boss loves him very much. He's well cared for and feels very grateful for the opportunities he has there." Upon hearing this, Adam's mother breathed a sigh of relief. "That's good to know," she said, a smile lighting her face. "Thank you for coming to see me. I know this place is far from where you live, so I invite you to stay with us tonight. Tomorrow, you can continue your journey, as I see the night is getting late." The warmth and hospitality of Adam's mother were evident, and Huyen's family, grateful for such a generous invitation, gladly accepted. They knew that, although the situation was uncertain, that night of rest at Adam's home would be a small refuge before continuing their long journey. With hearts full of gratitude, Huyen and Maya settled in for the night, knowing that despite the challenges, there would always be moments of kindness and support along their way. Adam's mother's hospitality reminded them that, although the future was uncertain, good people were still nearby, ready to offer their help when it was most needed. Adam's mother, with a look full of sweetness and sadness, shared their situation with Huyen. She told her that, due to her illness, she was unable to work and spent her days at home taking care of household chores. Adam, for his part, had been forced to work far from home, sending all the money he earned to help his mother buy the medication she needed. She, with a heart full of love, couldn't help but feel guilty, knowing that her son had had to sacrifice his education and many opportunities to take care of her. As they talked, the atmosphere was filled with warmth and complicity that only family ties can offer. It was as if they had known each other all their lives, and the words flowed naturally, as if no time had passed since they last saw each other. It was a sincere encounter, full of love and mutual understanding. At that moment, Huyen, like her host, began to work in the garden. Together, they collected fresh herbs, sharing stories and laughter. While picking the vegetables, Huyen told her that Adam had already made the decision to return to his homeland. Adam's intention was to be closer to his mother and be able to care for her more closely. Although Adam loved his job, he knew that his mother's well-being was paramount. That's why he was willing to organize his life and work to make that return possible. Hearing this, Adam's mother felt immense happiness. There was no greater joy for her than seeing her son make that decision, knowing that he would have the support of Huyen and her family throughout the process. "There is nothing more beautiful than seeing family members reunited under one roof," she said with a smile filled with gratitude and love. For her, seeing Adam return to her side was a comfort, a relief to her heart, for she knew that family is what matters most in life. That conversation became a moment of hope, a reminder that, although life sometimes presents difficult challenges, it is always possible to find solace in the love of family. Huyen, in her own way, also found hope in that connection and was grateful to have met such generous and loving people. Together, they prepared a simple meal, but full of joy. It was not a feast of exquisite delicacies, but rather a traditional Vietnamese meal prepared with love and humility. But that did not make it any less special. On the contrary, each dish represented the effort and love with which they had united at that moment. The table was filled with laughter and conversation, and for a moment, everything seemed to be in its place, filled with peace and happiness. Adam's mother, hearing Huyen talk about her son's decision to return to his homeland soon, couldn't help but show her emotion. Her face reflected a mixture of gratitude and hope, for she knew that her son needed to be with her after so much time apart. "May he be well and return soon is all I want for him," she thought to herself while smiling affectionately. Thus, Huyen's family's journey came to a brief stop. On their journey home, they made a meaningful stop at Adam's parents' house, a place where they found warmth and understanding. At this moment, although the uncertainty of the future still weighed on their hearts, they knew that this chapter of their lives, although brief, had provided them with precious moments. To not miss the most recent updates about Huyen and her family's life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come, and together, we will discover what the future holds for this family so full of courage and hope.